Welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by Kev the Great Went. What's up, Kev? That was a fun show. It was an interesting show.
Interesting. Yes.
First, for
Deliberate.
first and foremost, I want to thank our new members. Is that JL, Savvy, and Kyle? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support of the channel. I think this is the first set of tonight. I want to say right off the bat, I think is the best set, the best first set of the year by far. I loved this first set.
Ooh.
I thought about it. I know we said that we had that members stream at Set Break, and I was pretty high on it, and I thought about it. Time's gone by. I really liked this first set. I thought it was great. Second set I thought was good. I don't know if overall the show is you know the sum is greater than its parts. I think the first set was a little bit higher than the overall show as its own on its own.
Right.
Um. Anyway, you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Woo. I know that's a big statement, but I thought coming out with 2001, even though it was kind of cliche and expected, everybody was talking about it, was the perfect move, and I was really happy they did it. I love when they're on the nose. Why subvert expectations like that? Just sometimes you just got to go for it and give us what we want.
Right. And I'm glad that it wasn't just an afterthought version that was like 5 minutes. They put some time into it. They worked the theme. They came back. They found the theme again. I thought that they were very patient with it, which is appreciated.
Right. It wasn't just mailed in. It was a very well executed version, and funky and fun. Right. Set the stage really well. Um, and then we got we got the cup full of gumbo. I really do. I mean, I know it wasn't that much more, but the little bit more they gave us in it was satisfying. Right. The last couple we were talking about was the sample version. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but this did it for me.
Yeah, it had an extra 2 minutes longer than Dick's, I think, and I feel like there's so much territory for them to explore that they, have forgotten about. Maybe, at one point Gumbo was, stout. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean,
it happens over time. Some songs, are long and then they're not anymore, and
no,
sometimes
and
songs
don't
get the
get me wrong. I
treatment.
agree with you. I want a really massive just pot of gumbo, right? But I think I'm just happy that we're headed in the right direction now, right? That they're starting to, you know, figure it out and give us a little bit more. What do you
Hey
think about Beauty
Jano
of My
from
Dreams?
How about Hey Jano from Peru?
Yeah, how cool is that? That's
International. We're going international here. We're
international
glad you're here. We're
television.
glad you're Beauty of My Dreams. I love. Got the shout out to Del McCory. I have no issue with the PHiSH bluegrass stuff. I know some people don't feel like it betrays maybe this true spirit of bluegrass with Fishman doing the 500-mile-an-hour drum beat, but
Yeah, but fuck that. I like it. The
yeah,
spirit of
I'm with you.
bluegrass, that's like a weird. Yeah. I mean, I know people are like that, but like it's Fish's version of all of these things. Fish doesn't do authentic reggae. They don't do authentic funk. They don't do authentic bluegrass. They do their version of it. And I like their version of these things, right? And I know it's not like for everybody, but yeah, I like that. I like that song.
I do. I think that the next is the um one of the highlights of the set for me. I really feel like you were saying to me earlier that you thought 2001 would show up again in the second set, and I was thinking in my head the tray really open. Mull began to really open up. I felt like this was the time we were going to get like a 15-minute Mull. They were going to let it go, and Trey went right into the 2001, which was so fun. But I don't think it was planned. I think it
Yeah.
was an afterthought. And in the moment, he's like, oh, there it is. And then he went over and said something, and boom, there they were.
Kind of fell into it. It wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I obviously in the first set and going into the show, I thought it was like gonna be like a 2001 fest, and like by design, it felt that way in the mall, and I thought it was placed perfectly but it is hard to tell in hindsight with it not showing back up in the second set. Um, I think you're right. I will say though, I'm pretty against Mull or notoriously hating on Mull in the past, but I liked this sandwich. I was digging even before 2001. Like I thought 2001 elevated it and really pulled it all together. But I thought the song started strong. I thought even the singing was a little bit better. Mike wasn't reaching as hard. I thought it locked in. The jam was, you're right, it was starting to open up. It had a very cool groove and feel to it. Um, and then to go into back into 2001 was just pure hype. And then to go back to Mull, I think it was the making it a sandwich was perfect. I was really happy
Right.
with that.
I think Mike's been eating his broccoli.
Yeah. Man,
I
Trey too.
believe
Did you
it.
notice
And
how much
Trey,
better Trey sounded tonight?
he had broccoli tea or something. His like
Yeah.
voice, how did it overnight? He must have got a shot from Dr. Feelgood or something, a B12 injection.
He's like the reverse. He's the opposite of everybody else. It's like his voice is going to get better each night. The further he goes in the tour, the nicer things are going to sound. He
He'll be
sounded
singing
good
like
tonight, though.
Pavarotti come Chicago.
Yeah.
So the first slow song of the whole of the tour so
Uh-huh.
far, and it was a good one. I'm a fan of Dirt. I like the sentiment. It's a little bit quirky and demented, you know.
Yeah, but like cool too.
Mhm.
And I like the placement of it because like I said, after that sandwich, which I was really digging and nomming down on, I thought it was a good breather and not too much. And it's like, listen, if you're gonna do that, which you should sometimes, there's a great option.
Mhm.
And then stash. Okay, I want to talk about this stash because I think this is when when I come out and make like that big statement, like, oh, I really love this set. I think this is the best set, of the year, or the first set at least. Because there's been, yeah, there anyway. I think this stash has a lot to do with that. I think it did a lot of lifting. It was I think, an extraordinary version. There were a lot of really good versions in 21. I think this is probably better than all of them, to be honest.
I
I
think
have to go back and re-listen, but
Stash has been one of those songs that's been elevated in 4.0. I think they rehearsed it, people played through it, so they really nailed it.
yeah, the audience should rehearse it as much as the band does. They should.
No, that would take all the fun away. But yeah, it had some very nice spaces and really pushed it. And I thought that the reentry, they nailed it. They went into it. Trey is, I think, getting better at communicating and giving it, like we've said, the few extra bars, so the
Wha-
band catches up and knows where he's going with it.
When did they start using the in-ears and the all four having the channel mics? It was recently. It was like last year or something, right? I feel like it was awkward at first when they
Mhm.
switched to in-ear monitors, but now they seem to really have it uh locked in and have been. Yeah, it was this year, Jason, right? And I think when they first started it, it was like you could see the potential, but there was a little uncomfortable. I think now this tour they've really locked into the communicating and stuff. All right, Vance Powell. Hey, from Peru with the knowledge. I think it's been like an evolution though, because it was with the in-ears and then with the pedal, with the lines, the direct lines between each other. But it's cool. It's paying off.
Right, do you think
Um,
they have like a limiter kind of thing? A pad they step on when they go
yeah,
away from.
yeah. They definitely do. Um, Yeah, we'll talk. I think we need to have a follow up about the mix. We did a couple microdoses last year about the mix, and I think it would be fun to bring a sound guy on and talk about how things have improved and also where they still need it. Because I have some thoughts about that, but I don't know if tonight's the right time to do that.
Right.
Ether Edge. Where are you on Ether Edge,
I
Kevin?
have no issue. I thought that it was really good at Dick's. It has a very the instrumental part of it. I don't want to call it a jam because it's 5 minutes, but it's very unique sounding to me in what PHiSH does. So I appreciate that. It's a new texture, a new little wrinkle.
It has not. I've figured out a better way to relay the thoughts I was trying to express to you before. It has not had an impact on me one way or the other. It's not that I don't like it. I haven't yet connected with it, so I really don't care, and I don't want to like put it down. It's something that I could take or leave. It doesn't bother me, but it doesn't also blow me away. So it's kind of like whatever. Keep trying it. Maybe one day it'll connect with me, but I doubt it. I'm just not. It's not registering. You know what did register instantly though? The first time I heard about To Run, and every time since, I'm like, God, I fucking love this song. This is such a
I
great song.
I think that it's Trey's the best arena rock song. Like last night we talked about Santos and Character Zero and all that. I think it's better than Character Zero ever was. It embraces everything that, I mean, it should be a set closer in my mind, because it's just that powerful and just leaves you standing there like, what happened? 6
Yeah,
minutes, I feel like I could have had a few more, some more of the jam at the end there, but I'll take what I can get.
I like it because it's consistent too. Like, and I think it's partially because it's in the writing, not just the execution. Like, obviously, Trey can rip and wail on the guitar, but like, I think it's also the structure of the song, the progression, and like the building of the momentum in it. It just like it hits every time. Every time I've seen it, it hits that mark and it does what it needs to do. And I think it's that consistency is because of the writing. Yeah,
Right.
Skinny, that head is they've had that for a long time. That's to get like the stereo mix. They have it at this in the soundboard in the back. But I what I'm gonna end up looking at is how they've adjusted their streaming mix versus their house mix, because that used to be atrocious like what was that 2 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
it's gotten a lot better, but I think
Um,
this year it's had ups and downs.
right. The other
I'm
thing with
sorry.
About the Run for me is that there's a, a thematic unity to in the lyric when he brings up the ghost.
Yeah.
There's a ghost in meat, there's a ghost in ghost. There's Ghost of the Forest. There's several that appear over their songs, which I like because I guess in the moment when I'm hearing these things, I'm connecting dots that may not exist. But
No, I could see that. There is certain threads through the fish music, and that ghosts and things are definitely one of them, and I appreciate that. It works lyrically, it works musically, it works emotionally, it just works
when
on
he
a lot of
yells,
different
when he
levels.
yells liar, that is so cool. It's such
Yeah,
pain.
right.
It's just, yeah, that's I love it. All right, this melt. Let's get into it.
I'm resisting the urge to talk about mixes. Everybody's talking about it in the chat. I'm like, we'll do that later. Uh, yeah, I love this melt. It was different. It was very different than the last couple, and this has been the year of melts. I feel like it's just been the last 2 years have just been some phenomenal
It's
melts.
been the
Uh,
error of melt. Ugh.
yeah, but this one it like put me in a trance, right? Instead of like pulling apart and like separating and like deconstructing, it kind of just like locked into this weird, repetitive, hypnotic trance. And like instead of it being like, oh, I'm kind of lost because it goes spacey, and then I end up being like, oh, what are we in? This was kind of like not through the spacey route, it was through this trancy, like I don't know. I really, really dug it. It was different though. What did you think about it?
I felt like it got blissy on me, and
Yeah.
I that isn't what my melt should be. I want it to fall apart. That's what I'm looking for. That's the beauty in that song, that it completely falls apart. They're all playing something different, and then it finds those three notes, and they're like doom doom doom, and they come back into it. This got very bliss, and I feel like that jam could have gone in any song. That what's specific to melt is only
Mm-hmm.
specific to melt. You aren't sticking that somewhere else. But I mean, in 19 minutes, it had so many spaces, which is always fun for them to be able to explore several themes.
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from with that. Is it a good melt jam specifically? No, probably would prefer the deconstructed versions better, like the really literal, like melting of your mind type version. But the jam that we got in it was a really cool jam that I really liked. And if it was on any other song, we would be talking about what a great fucking jam it was. Even Bliss Bliss or
And I did
otherwise.
say it was a great jam. It's just
And
the
it
whole
was
point
locked
of
in. It was
the
super
right.
tight. I mean, it was just, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's cool. I'm glad they mix it up, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, Chris, I agree. Like, but I kind of gotten away from comparing things to the 90s. A, because memories don't work that accurately, just scientifically, right? Like perception and time and everything else changes. And also the band's different, we're different. Like, I love going back and listening to all that shit. But like for where they're at, so when I'm saying like the best in a long time, I'm usually just referring to like 5 to 10 years, right? I think that's like it's easier to have like where the band is now. Anyone that's trying to like earnestly compare like 97 to like 2015 to 21, it's too many variables. I'm not trying to do that. That's
Right.
crazy.
Dick's Melt was epic. And
It was
and
both actually 21 22 and 23.
yeah. Let me throw something out. I saw on our internal thing here, someone on Facebook just gave us a like. If you come over to YouTube, you can hang out in the chat and get involved that way if you want. The issue with this platform is we don't always see if you comment on Facebook until much later, and then obviously you aren't watching anymore. So
Yeah.
but we got some
All,
more housekeeping real quick.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, nice and early, 10 o'clock, we'll be back with a live stream. It's a little hectic and busy on tour weekends, but this is a new thing that we're going to be doing consistently every week. Sometimes it'll be Kevin and I or, different iterations. Sometimes we'll have interviews with people, one-on-ones. It's just an opportunity to have different formats, but really what it is having midweek or weekend things that are off cycle that we would want to talk about on our live stream on Wednesday, but don't want to wait. So now we can talk about it. So come hang out with us in the morning. It'll be fun doing cones and coffee tomorrow at 10.
Yep.
Then also for the rest of the fall tour, we'll be doing these after shows 15 minutes after Encore. And a
Yep.
new thing that we started this tour is we're doing set break hangs with the members. I really, really enjoyed today's set break. We had a nice little group there. It was fun, parsing through
Parenting
our initial
tips.
thoughts.
We got some parenting tips.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was fun. We got to go through everything, and I like it. I'm looking forward to those, and I encourage everybody to join and come hang out with us. It's a fun little community that we're building there.
It's right if you go on your browser, it's right underneath there. There's a little join button. And let me real quick, Essie. No, EtherEdge was not needed,
No,
but
okay.
Trey wants to do it because I think he digs it. It showed up at Dick's. It showed up 3 shows later tonight. They're digging it.
Yep. And then also, if you're watching this not live, let us know in the comments what you thought about tonight's show
And
and
like,
what you
subscribe.
think about our takes. And then like and subscribe. And that's all the housekeeping. We got it. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's go.
cones and coffee. That's
Cones
right.
and coffee. I like that one. First one was wook and bake. Now we're cones and coffee. All
This
right.
this set struck me. The songs that were chosen struck me as very weird tonight. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just say that off the top because of what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
But I really dig Life Saving Gun though. I love this song. I wish
Yep.
it had gotten double the time. I think there's so much there. My only issue is every time it's faked me out and I thought they were going to do Punch You in the Eye.
Oh, I could hear that. Yeah, I didn't think that, but I could hear that. I love it the way it comes right out, right into it. It's high energy. They nail it. I think this is one of those songs that they made sure they had road ready before they even debuted it. I agree. If it were longer, that would have been awesome. But it almost felt like that transition was rehearsed because it was one of those zero stop. We hit this
Butter.
note, we hit this beat, and we're right
Butter.
into sand.
They
Yeah, it
were on
was
a
good.
roll.
It wasn't as good as the one we'll talk about later, which I think everybody
Oh
knows,
yeah, but no,
but it
even
was still very good.
right. And then you get Sand, which is another lyric about guns.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's a strange choice. And I tell you what, the Sand was cool. But after the one at Dick's, I was kind of like, again, expectations. I was like, that was it? Wait, we're done already? And it didn't even go into something, just stopped. Solid opening, though. Solid 16 minutes there to open.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It is weird the theming and lyrics, but if you take that shit out of it, which is kind of what I forced myself to do because I was like starting to hyperanalyze it. And I was like, is there a statement in it? And I was like, I don't want to get into that. Let me just think, like, enjoy it, listen to the music, listen to the jams. And I thought it was very solid. It's so funny because during the hang at Set Break, we were talking about songs that everybody likes now, but we realized when it came out, everybody hated it, and it's only because Trey attached really great jams to it so consistently.
You had the best analogy.
Oh yeah, well because we were talking about feeding broccoli, how you don't like broccoli, and I was like, it's like when your mom takes the broccoli and then smothers it in cheese, and then all of a sudden everybody loves it, and that's
That's
exactly
damn
what
good.
everything's right is.
It's the best broccoli I ever had.
It's like, man, I love broccoli, mom, and meanwhile it's like 800 calories and like
But then when
completely
you
loses
do,
all its value.
but then what happens when you don't get the cheese? You feel this so let down.
Yeah, you don't want your
Everything's right, but the business on the table there, everything's right. It was okay tonight. It's just another weird thing. Everything is not all right, Trey. Everything
especially
is not
today.
all right. I mean,
Yeah, but it was. You know what though? I thought that it was a good version. And then once you get into the jam, it was good. I think it really was saved. This is the one where it was saved by cities, and the cities jam pretty much saved the set or the whole thing up to this point. I thought the
I
cities was
I
phenomenal.
I like the Everything's Right jam because Trey was for a good 90 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes, just doing the rhythm thing, which I feel like he doesn't do enough of. He's always soloing. When he
Yeah,
gets to fall back, and that's how they ended up hitting the stride with cities there, which again,
it
find
was
yourself
built
a
from the
city
bottom
to
up.
live in. It's weird.
All right, you got to stop this, man. You're fucking up my mind on these things.
Wait till we get to Llama. Now, I
No.
thought that cities was
Again,
just
llamas and guns and cities.
you're
No,
right. Llama, I mean, Cities is just, it's such a fantastic song. I wonder if Trey went and saw Stop Making Sense because it had some real life into it. And it was, I want to say that every Cities is different because I don't feel like they play it straight ever. You know what
no,
I'm
but this
saying?
one had something different to it, like notably different. I would say that cities actually is fairly consistent. There's a lot of consistent versions, um, but this one had a different intonation and phrasing and a little bit of a accent pattern. The jam was a little bit different. The second jam was really fucking cool. So there was the first jam, which was like really epic and had these peaks and everything. And then Trey brings back the dun, 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 right? Like
Mhm.
doing rhythm. And you think they were going to close it and go back, out at the top. But then he just kind of sets in it and it settles down. And they go into a whole second leg of the jam, which
Mm.
was really, really dope.
I heard a little Mind Left Body in there. I was hearing Hear You Knocking. It seemed
I
like
heard
there
Mr.
was.
Completely, which I was really hoping they were going to go into, but you
It
know,
was very, very nice. It had shades of the Gorge a few years back in my
yeah.
head when they did that long first that one. And then another incredible transition
I
into the
think this
llama.
I think this is probably I hate making these big grandiose statements, but one of the best segues I've heard in a very long time. Like if I were to do a segue bracket, this segue because it wasn't even like what's cool about it is they modified the llama. It wasn't just a slow llama. It was a different it was a different arrangement. Like they fit the llama into the jam they were doing, which made it even more seamless. And the timing was perfect. The setup was perfect. They just fell right into it. I mean, as far as segues go, I think this was like a clinic, right? Like this is the example of what a great segue is.
Hmm. Now, see, I thought this second set up to this point, they were on point, even with my weird thinking of all the songs and the lyrics to them. I thought that their playing was on point. I thought that Trey's choices were because you're going to get one of these new songs. So
Yeah, I agree.
you
We're
have
saying
to
up through llama.
right walk through with the acceptance that you knew you were going to get one of them, and But then I always wanted it this way. People really dig this song, and I think that remember I did that 75 studio, the best 75 PHiSH studio songs.
Yeah.
This was in the top 10. The studio version of this on Big Boat sounds like it could be straight out of MTV in 84.
Yeah.
I don't think it carries through in the live performance. But I
It
will
used to.
say I will say this one tonight, they came back to that second Cities jam in it,
Yeah.
which I found
This
fascinating.
I think I always wanted this way used to land, but I don't know if they haven't played it in a while or if it's just slipping their minds. Like you could see Paige was reading the lyrics off the prompter. His voice was strained on it. There was something that just wasn't locking in the written part of the song. And I
Trey
feel
gave
like
his
I've heard better versions of it.
Trey called in his witch or something and transferred his bad voice to Paige.
Yeah. Because I definitely know that this song has locked in because it's one that I'm usually when you did that thing, you're like, oh, people like this song. Like I'm guilty of that. I do
I
like
didn't
this
say
song.
people. I said people like, meaning that they do, and I'm happy for them.
Right, and there's a reason they like it is because it usually slaps and it's a great song. But tonight, I agree with you. I don't think it did to start. Although I think the jam got there. Yeah,
My
exactly. The Moog was and he had to switch up his playing too. You could barely hear it. There's something going on with the mix. Trey's voice also got lost in the
the
mix a
mic
couple of
on
times.
Lonely Trip was off, yeah. But as for, I always wanted it this way. I think the placement bothers me too. It's always deep in the second set.
Right.
I wish it
Right.
would close the first set or open the second set. It might be a great way to open a set.
Yeah, or put it after the two spot jam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have it there, and then you have enough time to build it up. But when it's this late in the set, unless it has to hit out of something with high energy and hit right away and go into a jam and then get out. But I feel like it didn't hit, and that's why it doesn't work in that spot.
I want something else there.
I
You
know.
know, I want
You love
something
doing that.
sweaty and greasy but like I said, interesting jam in it with the reprise of the Cities, the second Cities jam. And then you close the set with Bug. It's disjointed. Bug always seems like it's forced to me. We
Yeah.
have to do we're gonna stick it here and it doesn't belong here. And especially not to close the set. Come on.
Yeah, that I agree with. I don't know if I agree that it's always disjointed. I think it's like classic PHiSH to me. Like it's I love like when you think about different memories and stuff, like yelling hood, for example, or whatever. I think like the crowd yelling bug and the song and just everything about it, I dig. But I thought it was a really odd choice to close the set. It was this is a fourth quarter problem again.
Mhm.
After Llama, we have another fourth
And so it
quarter.
really wasn't a fourth quarter. It's like they made it to the last 5 minutes of the game.
Well, did you see the Miami play today?
No, I did not. I saw all on Twitter people making fun of the guys. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Obviously, it was during the PHiSH show, so
yeah.
I didn't say it. But right, that's what Trey did. He was like, he called Bug in the last play, and they lost a fucking almost perfect game.
Damn
That's
it.
fine. I mean, it was good.
Give me the ball back.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mic was off for Lonely Trip, the beginning.
Right.
And if you were watching in between, if you were like looking at it, one of his crew ran out and did something to the mic. So I think the
Yeah.
guy fucked it up.
Right. He was probably. I hate this song. I know you're gonna play Lonely Trip. Let me fuck this song up for you.
Right.
Uh,
If you do throw the second set and the encore together, that does make a huge second set.
yeah.
And Hood, which I did not expect. They went way over. They went 15 minutes over.
I loved what they did with Hood too. I
Yeah.
really liked it. I was almost expecting with the timing and of where it came and how late it was that they were just gonna mail it in and do a condensed version. And when they get into the one part, you know, where it opens up a little bit and like you would expect it to kind of go
The
into
third
the
section, right.
conclusion, right? They just sat there and built it up and built it from the ground up. And we're so that's an overall thought of tonight is how locked in they were. They weren't always making the perfect choice, but they made the choices together. They not once tonight were like disjointed from each other. I felt like they were a machine again tonight, which is something I really always loved about PHiSH. That's like something they're incredible at. But and not they don't always do it though. But like tonight was really really locked in all night. Just really amazing playing. I thought. Weird choices sometimes. Like we were talking about with the fourth quarter. And some of the other things, but overall, I thought really tight playing.
I feel like they're mid-tour form. Like they haven't missed a beat from Saturday Dicks.
Right.
We're just gonna forget Sunday Dicks happen.
Dude, Nutter's gonna be nuts. Fucking
Tweezer
is gonna be so nuts.
We're gonna get the Tweezer Wednesday night at Nutter because nobody's going like tickets. The whole upper deck in that place is still unsold. Like all the 200s. It's
How
gonna
far
be a
is that from
throwdown.
Philly? I gotta look that up. Maybe I'll drive out to Dayton.
It's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, a couple like 6 hours. I could do that.
We drove out there in '97, and my buddy Pat, I don't know, half joking, said they're gonna do Psycho Killer, and they did.
Oh, he called that?
Yeah. My buddy Pat would not let you drive. We rented a car, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll split driving," and he wouldn't let me or his girlfriend drive ever. So like whenever we went somewhere, we knew he'd say, "All right, we're all going to drive," and none of us would have to.
That's perfect, though. I usually like driving, but when we're out like that, I don't want to have that.
I hate
7
driving.
hours.
I don't want to drive.
I don't want to do
7.
It's on the wrong side of Ohio. That's the problem. I can get to
Yes, it
Ohio
is.
fast, but it's on the wrong side.
It's very Midwest.
Well, I guess I'll just couch tour and do the recaps here with you.
There we
and
go.
hang out with everybody.
10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 8 hours, guys. 8.5. And then we'll see you, if not tomorrow night after. 15 minutes after. If you're a member, set break.
Yeah, join us at
you.
Set Break tomorrow. Join us.
Like, subscribe.
All right, bye, everybody.